Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll just follow up a little. I'll start out by mentioning that, boy, when I'm in Minnesota, I get a chance to tour a lot of Minnesota companies, and Senator Klobuchar and I have been quite frequently visiting our medical device companies in particular, and a lot of these companies that we get a chance to tour, they're small business, they're manufacturers, and so I've had a chance to talk with floor managers, the C-level folks working on the floor, as well as the business owners, and the issue about uncertainty and the increasing regulatory burden comes up frequently as a part of those conversations. In fact, there was a recent study that was just done, the state of manufacturing in Minnesota, on a survey that was done. 60% of businesses in manufacturing are very concerned about government policies and regulations. So it's not just even concerning the tax side of the equation, but it's the regulatory environment. So having that fear of onerous regulation doesn't create an environment that allows companies to invest with certainty in their people or their equipment, certainly. And that's definitely one factor as a part of this growth gap, which the Joint Economic Committee is focused on. Mr. Keevil, I just want to follow up. The medical device industry is absolutely an American success story. You know that. Senator Klobuchar and I both know that. Senator Coates knows that. And we represent heavy sectors in that area. But at the same time, I think we know that that leadership is threatened. And in particular, as Senator Klobuchar noted and you mentioned in your testimony, there's a recent study with the U.S. venture capital funding has declined, and it continues to decline today. So it essentially is going to mean more movement towards Europe or to other countries for these new startups, for breakthrough technologies that harms patients, obviously. So knowing that the trend is going in that direction, and knowing that medical devices and technology gets approved in Europe faster than it gets approved here, what are some ways, as a technology officer, for instance, that maybe we should be looking down the road for? How can technology play a role in making sure we're doing regulations smarter from a technology perspective, at the same time protecting from a safety perspective?
So, I mean, these are part of the realities of what we are dealing with on a daily basis, and you know, we, under the guidance of our boards of directors and our investors, have to make these investment decisions very carefully about whether to pursue products in the U.S. or outside the U.S. You know, we've been able to garner our leadership position by attracting top talent and retaining top talent with high-paying jobs, and investing heavily in ongoing innovation and expansion of manufacturing capabilities. And you know, with the time and amount of capital required to get our products across the approval threshold in the U.S., there's just less money to devote to those value-add activities. On top of that, the medical device tax is going to continue to divert, you know, precious capital away from ongoing innovation and U.S. jobs. So I think ensuring that the agreements under MDUFA are met, and I think we all expect clinical as well as economic benefits to come out of those. But as we've talked about, I think repealing the medical device tax would also go a long way to freeing up the greatly needed capital to help us maintain our leadership position.
Good. Dr. Ellig, I was going to ask a question, because among the initiatives to assess the quality of federal regulation systematically is the Mercatus Regulatory Report Card, is probably the most comprehensive. Your testimony lists a lot of different criteria as a part of that report card. What's the most important criteria, and why?
Oh, the most important criterion for regulatory impact analysis is analysis of the systemic problem that the agency is trying to solve. Answering questions like, you know, is there a problem? Is it a system-wide problem that you might be able to solve through a change in the rules of the game, or is it just some bad behavior by particular bad actors where you might take more of a law enforcement approach rather than a regulatory approach? You know, is there a problem at all? And what's the nature of the problem, so that we can then tailor a solution that would actually take care of the problem, but also take care of the problem at minimum cost?
Now, you've also used the term regulatory impact analysis. Is that the same thing as cost-benefit analysis, or does it mean something else?
Regulatory impact analysis is really broader. Regulatory impact analysis is an overall analysis that summarizes a lot of information about the nature of the problem, the alternative solutions to the problem, and the costs and benefits of the alternative solutions. So really, the cost-benefit analysis is one piece of a regulatory impact analysis, and it would include economic analysis, but also any other science that goes into understanding the problem, understanding the harm, understanding what we're trying to do.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I know we're going to have a lot more conversation about regulatory policies, given the President's proposed some new suggestions on the regulatory environment with energy, for instance, and this is something I think this committee is going to continue to tackle. So I yield back.
Thank you. Senator